All right. So having having set up this arrangement of blanket, one wider, lower, and another one higher for your head, watch me. All right. So I'm going to climb in here. And again, we're focusing on the diaphragm. Now, do note that the diaphragm is actually mostly at the level of your 10th rib. So often we'll think it's way down here. There are fibers, of course, that are going down there, but most of it is right up in this 10th rib area and across the solar plexus. So do open your eyes and watch me climbing in and resting in a rounded position. And you can see I've let this blanket be pretty large here, pretty long on my torso. And then to do the rolling, we're going to start out in this kind of a little bit flexed position and take the breath into this back portion diaphragm, which includes its stem along the front of the spine. So it's not flat across there. It comes into your spine and roots there along the bones. So from here, you're going to gently massage. You can use a little bit of a pulsing down into the earth as you roll around the perimeter of your diaphragm. Now, you may get this far and feel like, wow, I got a lot to do there. I don't need to go further. And you'll just stay there for a little bit. And then to go further, you'll probably want to bring your knees up. Most of us will. And then you keep going. And I'm looking for the sensing and the feeling of these tissues that are wrapping around the diaphragmatic tissues themselves. So this is about where I end up first thing in the morning, right? And then you'll be there and I'll lead you and you'll roll back over it. And at that point, we'll come around and we'll take the other side. All right. So climb in. Let's everybody go on the right side. So get your right side body on your blankets, your low blanket, and your head. So you saw the idea that what I don't want is for your head to be like dropping way back, that kind of thing. You want to have a good support here under your head. And then lying on your right side, curl around yourself, knees are in, curl around yourself. Your right arm is extended in the channel between your blankets. And exhaling, release your weight down. So you may want to already be cultivating a little bit of a longer exhale here, allowing this of exhale that will release you, and then beginning to look into the sensations of the diaphragm. This big, wide, double domed muscle with a very strong tendon in the center that connects the movement of your diaphragm with your heart and lungs. So this is big in there. We tend to harden in this area. So just taking a few moments to allow the parasympathetic aspect of your nervous system to come in by lengthening the exhalations and the yield. Notice how the exhaling breaths soften your ribs in toward the center, all the way around the periphery here. And notice how the inhale can ripple your ribs out rather than a big like umbrella opening. That's not actually what your diaphragm does. Your diaphragm and your ribs ripple out, no specific way, but they're not just clumping going, they're rippling around in there. And then you can begin to turn. Take an exhale to yield down where your ribs are touching. And as you are inhaling, take just a little bit of a rotation here. So you're coming, oh, I don't know, just the 3/4 front there, not onto your side even yet. And then using your exhalations and your inhales, whichever way feels appropriate to you for your moving, trying both, just keep rolling. Your left arm will begin to come sliding across your chest. Don't just reach it straight up. That's not the kind of thing we're doing right now. Let it slide across your chest as you continue the rotating. The exhale is the soften release. You know that your ribs are coming closer together. Your diaphragm is doming upward on the exhale. And then wherever you have weight, drop it into that and see what happens. Feel free to bring your legs up as much as you need to. You don't need to be in a big twist posture here. You're just looking at this a little bit of a twisting, right? Because that gets into the diaphragm really well. You feel the fibers in there coming across and through you as you roll towards your left, but not all the way. Not all the way. In other words, don't keep going to your left. Keep pulsing down. You'll feel where your ribs come into the thoracic spine, the lower thoracic spine, and there's a little pulsing there. Turning just a bit more until you do get some of that central portion of the back diaphragm going down toward the earth. Pulsing with breath. Head is just comfortably rolling. Legs are just comfortably releasing to let you go. All right, you're going to roll back over the same thing. So you can take your time. You're bending your left arm, which is out toward the floor, and you're bending that to bring your elbow up as you roll back towards your right side, allowing the increasing mobility of your ribs here and the softening and easing of your diaphragm. Rest. See if maybe it's even possible to just rest a little bit deeper than you were when you first arrived. All right, we're going to bring it around to the other side. So all you need to do, you've got the length of your blankets. All you need to do is roll over. You feel what you're doing as you do it. Roll all the way onto your left side and find that same beginning position of curled around. I'm going to just change my support so I'm facing you, but of course you don't need to do that. You're on your left side and you're curled. Looking at, playing with the exhalation, yielding you down. All of those mobile places in your in your thoracic cathedral there. All those mobile places are rippling around now, more or less, right? We want a lot of freedom here, and yet, of course, we always want stability. Freedom and stability. So the two sides might feel different. This left side, your lung on the left side's a little bit smaller because it's cupping your heart in there. So I can feel a difference in how much this lower portion of the diaphragm here on the left side, how much it moves. It's a little less than the other side was, which is interesting. And then yielding down, exhaling. And as you're ready, however you like, rolling slowly over that left side. There we go. I lengthened my left side body onto the downward, hipward, and got more connection with that side diaphragm than I had when I was starting. So you make these little adjustments, you feel, and then slowly you can move. If you let your body move a little bit, you might be able to use the rest of your body to add to the pulsing. You don't have to be still. And your right hand and your right arm is now up on your chest. Yeah, and the sides will feel different as you roll, and the rib bones are elastic bands of warm bone, right? They move. See if you can feel them, not just in and out, they ripple around. Where's the weight going? Don't try to match the speed of the journey, or the touch of the other side. You're actually looking at what is actually here right now for you. Eventually, as you're turning more toward the right, you will begin to feel a tug through what is the solar plexus here between your cartilage of the ribs and the bottom of your sternum, right? Well, your diaphragm's in there, as are a lot of other organs and things, nervous system, sympathetic nervous system, right in there. See if you can soften and drop it down as you roll. Looking for the various sensations, the directions of the fibers. Ah. And open any amount. Let your head be part of the deal in a comfortable manner. No need to do anything specific. Just let it be comfortable. Full breathing, right? The diaphragm and the ribs rippling like feathers here, your ribs, and like wings, your diaphragm widening. All right, and then here we go. Come on back slowly. Enjoying the journey as you go. And then again, allow yourself a little bit of a curl in here at the finish. Great. Now, from here, we are going to actually open back to the center, right? So you might want to watch what I'm doing first. I'm just rolling around here. And because I hopefully have enough room on both sides, I can roll around this way. I've got good head support. My hips are under, my pelvis is lower than the blanket, and then opening arms. You can keep your legs bent if you like, but if it's comfortable for you, you'll extend them out and flex the feet so that you can take a deep exhaling yield into these supports. All right? So from where you are, wherever you are, take that journey around. If you like, the knees can be bent. Everybody's going to want to curl the tail a little bit towards your knees so that whenever you do open your legs out and down, you're not going to be bunched up in your lower back, right? It wants to feel good. Find your comfort, find the just right place for everything, and then yield the front body down into the middle body, like a blanket of gravity taking you. Let it take you down, front body thick, middle body thick, back body heavy, wide, yielding. And then you notice, there's the movement of my diaphragm, the thoracic diaphragm. Take a moment of inquiry into how does that diaphragmatic movement affect my ribs? Now, I know your ribs are expanding, of course they are, and then they're condensing back on the exhale. Now, this time, as you finish your exhale, you'll bring your breath into the lower portion of your ribs and the width of the diaphragm we just explored. You can take it up the rest of the way, but the accent of your awareness is in the low ribs. Allowing perhaps a little bit of this fanning. As we free the diaphragm, we also free all of the muscles between the ribs, and they will fan out. All right, and then take a full exhale this time, and you can bring the movement up from the lower ribs into the mid ribs of your back. And imagine, notice, feel that as the breath comes into the mid ribs, they're resting on the blanket, the ribs fan out. And again, they ripple to invite the breath in. As you practice, you may find that your breath gets a little bit slower. You're sipping it in because you're looking for the movement. Good, and a nice full exhale all the way to a softening, yielding empty. And this time you'll bring the breath up into the more top portion on both sides, ribs, rippling lower, rippling middle, rippling through the top, and exhaling, the breath flows out, top, middle, bottom. And you rest, no technique, just resting. We're going to do that twice more. All right. So exhaling to a soft, deep empty now. And inhaling breath, the back, lower, and around the mid-lower lung. And then the center. And then up into the top. The whole thing's like a wave. And you exhale and you release it back down again, like a wave. Washing into the shore, relax, do nothing. One technique at a time is more than enough for your nervous system to absorb. Just allow it. And now we will do it again. And you can prepare by taking a full inhale, and then we'll take the full exhale for this third time technique. Okay? So full inhale to prepare. And exhale down all the way to a soft, deep empty. And the back, low diaphragm, inhaling, widening. And the breath into the mid-lungs, widening, rippling. And the top lungs. And the exhale. Soft. Release. Breathe normally. Eyes can be closed, of course, if you like. Great. And then bend your knees and take your time, roll on over to either one of your sides to come up into a comfortable sheet just for a moment or two. And then to finish the exploration here into the thoracic diaphragm and freeing it, we're going to come out either over a bolster, or you can use blankets, So if you don't happen to have a bolster, you can take a pile of blankets like so, and you'll bring it into your between your legs, which are parted. Now, if this is not quite high enough, of course, you can build it up for yourself. Whatever, you can put pillows there. It doesn't always have to be the perfect yoga prop. Now watch me. So from here, I'm coming out and I'm kind of scooping my belly in here. I'm not going to lay out like something like that. I'm scooping my belly into my body and coming out, a little bit like some sort of a sea creature or something here, coming out over these supports and then just resting. So you can see my spine is a little bit flexed, and I would like for you to have that. So if you need to have your torso quite a bit higher, that's fine. Right? So giving you a little time to set up. And then the belly in, be sure that your supports, your blankets or your bolster are in towards your inner thighs, and then just come up and over it. And from way down in the pelvic belly, you lengthen out. And first your arms are kind of up because you're wanting to lengthen and expand those ribs even upward here. And take your head to the side. Now you're in charge, right? You can, if you want, you can ripple the breath in exactly the same manner here. From the lower, through the mid, to the top, allowing now just the sensing and feeling of what's going on in your back body. Your lungs are back there, in your back lungs, right? All the way down at the joining here, the point in your spine, right around the beginning of your lumbar. So just at the junction of the thoracic and lumbar spine, just at that junction is where the diaphragm is thick and has its stem that goes all the way to the tail. Can you feel it? Great position here to begin to trace that muscular and ligamentous support down your spine that tethers your breath into your tail, your coccyx. All right, so I've released my arms down on my sides, palms are up back by my hips. I'm just going to turn my head, so I want support. Inhale, come up a bit, and with an exhale, turn your head to the other side and rest your arms again, however they are comfortable for you. I like down by my sides with my palms up because it gives me a lot of width in the back lungs, right? All the way up into the shoulder blade on the both sides. Mm-hmm. All right, now bring your hands under you so that you're coming up with the support of your arms. Push into the earth with your legs also. Push into the earth with your hands and incorporate the levity of the core as you inhale and come back up to seated. All right, I want to do one more very specific in movement in the diaphragm. And, you know, if it's too much in any way, you you say that's enough and you don't do this next particular posture. It's just a seated twist. So feel free to sit up on a block and you can extend your leg out. If you're a little bit tighter in the hamstrings or anything like that, and it's tough for you to extend your legs straight, or you get hyperextended there, whatever. If you like, you can take a blanket under that knee. And then in this case, I'm bringing my left leg up and taking my foot to the floor. So using this block in order to maintain a really neutral situation in my spine. You don't need the block. If you are fine on the floor and your spine will stay in a nice, easy neutral, don't use the block, or use it anyway, just because it's fun. Okay, so from here, drawing in, hug into your shin with both arms, and then gently tug your shin, pulse it, tug it into you. and find the muscle of your diaphragm in there. Find also the sensing and feeling through your solar plexus region. All of this in here. All right, we're going to spin. We're going to take a twist. So the right hand will come to hold your left shin, and the left hand comes to the floor, and I'm waiting. I'm not going yet, because if I just go, there are so many ways to do a twist. I could be doing it in my spine, I could be doing it through the core, whatever. I'm going to do this one through the diaphragm. So exhaling deep into the earth. On the inhale, I'm allowing my vertebral column to lengthen upward. And waiting, noticing, don't harden in the diaphragm. Don't harden in the solar plexus. Are you with me? As you're inhaling now, ready to move, and with your exhaling, find the center portion, the platform in the center of your thoracic diaphragm around which to turn. Similar to what we were doing on the ground. Inhale again, and as you're exhaling, you can go a little deeper, but I recommend you don't go journeying right out to the finish, but use the pulsing movement here that will assist the freeing of your diaphragm. In my experience, the diaphragm doesn't get free because you spin it into a position. Your thoracic diaphragm gets free because you attend to it and you let it move in all of its ways, and you free it from contractions, energetic and physical, in the region of the thoracic cathedral. The little pulsing allows the fluids in the fibers and everything, the fibers and between the cells everywhere in the diaphragmatic structure to wake up. Good. Now, as you're inhaling and you're coming back, you kind of track it. You know, you want to see, can I turn right around the hub of the center of it? And then right at center, noticing, you know, this is yoga, noticing and feeling what you've done before you just go, okay, other side. All right, and then take the leg out, that leg out, and you can bring the opposite leg in. And this time you wrap your right arm around the right shin and give it a good hug. Now notice, guys, it's very common to harden in the solar plexus when you're pulling on this leg just a bit. You check it out. You don't need that to be hard in order to draw your leg in and pulse it in. Oh, that's different. You find it. You got to find it. The thick of the back all the way to the tail. And inhale, take your left hand to the right shin and your right hand to the side. I'm going to change so you can just see me. And the right hand to the side. Inhale, go down, 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 and exhale, soften, turn. So you shouldn't be feeling, I mean, it's okay if you are, obviously, but our inquiry right now is not into feeling the spine turn or even the external muscles. And that's all fine. We do that plenty of times. But right now, we're looking at this slow moving sea creature of the diaphragm, the thoracic diaphragm, spinning on its own central axis. So when you get around and you feel, well, I feel a pretty big spin in my diaphragm right there. Is it too much? If it's too much, it will inhibit the breath. So if it's too much, or you notice your breath is inhibited, take it back just a little. And whenever you're ready, you can pulse it around again and see if maybe it's still too much or maybe it's not. Be kind. Be compassionate towards yourself. Yes, we get stuck places. Yes, we do. Everybody does. And yes, there are multiple layers of the stuck, and we offer compassion to that too. It's like, boy, I must be so afraid in the world because my diaphragm's hard. Okay, that's okay. Okay, you can do something about it or not. It's just knowing yourself. And here we go. As you're inhaling, come around it. Stay at the center for a moment. And then release your whole thing. Come around to a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. I'm just going to be on my knees for the moment. And on my knees, I am not over flexing and I'm not over arcing. I'm allowing that beautiful sea creature to be rooted down into the bottom of the ocean while it ripples around in there. Going nowhere, doing nothing, simple breathing. You don't need to control anything. Your body learns, so you can just release all of the trajectory of the inquiry, release it, see what you got. Good. Now, onward. Onward we go, and I'm going to ask you now to grab your 2 blocks or a chair. So we're going to be doing some lunges and so forth, a few things with lunges and leg extension. So you can do this right on the chair. I'm going to use the blocks. And we'll be sitting first like this. I'll show you before we go so that you can see. So the blocks will be out. You're going to take them out in front of you. Come up as if you're doing some cat movements, and you can do them if you want. And then with an inhale, drawing one leg forward and into a lunge. Now, eventually, we will be coming into this posture and exhaling over it. So all of this, again, can be done with the chair if it feels like, well, that chair might be better for that, so on and so forth. Okay? So your blocks are near you, or your chair is right in front of you. And seated with awareness, that's the whole thing. It's yoga. Bringing your awareness back to the matter at hand over and over again. That's dharana. That's the setup for meditation, collecting the flow of thoughts back to the object of perception. In this case, it's our practice. Dhyana is when the flow is established. That's called meditation. When the flow is effortless, we need to use our effort to contain, and then we begin to see the flow. See, feel, touch, breathe the flow. Look for it because you can do this. Don't wait. Okay, now bring your blocks out forward, or just come up onto your knees with your hands on the chair. And you want to play with a little bit of, if it feels good to you, a little bit of exhaling. It's interesting to do the cat situations here with your hands on the blocks. And then you got to bend your elbows, of course. Inhale and come out, lifting, yeah, underneath the sternum. Do it. Lift underneath the sternum. As you lift underneath the sternum, don't crank out of this breath in your lower back and your lower ribs. All right. Now, exhale, yield down to it again. You're going to step your right foot up between your hands. Inhale. I'm taking my blocks back a little bit. If you've got the chair, your hands are on the chair. As my blocks come back, in this particular case, I'm going to keep my knee over my ankle. That's not an all-time rule, but for now, that's what I'm doing. And in doing that, I can push from my front leg right up through the lower belly and the pubic disc, right back to the back leg. And I can push from the back leg, which is yielding and pulsing down into the ground, right up through the front leg. So they're connected there. Breathe. As you're breathing, you've got a little, there's undeniably a little tiny bit of a back bend here. Now, if there isn't, do bring your arms back a little bit so that I don't want you to be flexing the lumbar. I want you to be just in a tiniest little back bend. That's why maybe the chair works best. In so doing, pulse and recede the pubic disc up into the body, pulse and enliven the coccyx down toward the earth. Breathe into this low portion of diaphragm, and with your inhale, all the way to the coccyx. All right, now take your blocks a little bit forward or your hands on the chair, and then turn the back toes under. Push down through your front leg, all the way through the front pelvis, the pubic disc, pubic bones, to the back leg, and inhale. As you're exhaling, straighten. Keep breathing. 1. And 2. Enjoy it. Let that breath flow in your body. 3. 4. Is your whole body in the game? No bracing anywhere. Everything's in the game here. And 5. Good. Now take the back knee down. Use the strength of an inhale to draw this front leg up, and exhale, yield it back, and sit on your heels. Power of gentle yoga, All right, let's take the other side. Yield down, push, and then with an inhale, actually slice right through the pubic disc as if my legs are scissored here in this particular movement. And with an inhale, my left leg's coming forward. And as I exhale and yield down a little bit, same thing, don't let the pubis dangle down. Recede the center of the pubic bone, between the pubic bones, the disc, up into the body, and let it assist the levity in your core. Breathing. Tethering this back, tethering the width, the imaginary and the real width of the stem of the diaphragm right along this big lumbar curve, supporting it and waving. Notice the possibility to keep the wing-like expression in your chest. You can do it with your arms if you like. I find it helpful. Exhaling, inhaling. All right, and then settle your hands back onto your blocks, and then take them wherever you think they're going to be right. This is about right for me. And then inhale, slice the pubic disc in, no dangly hips. Slice the pubic disc in, and then with one of your exhales, straighten the back leg from the push of the front. Front leg pushes through the pubic disc, back leg straightens, and then the push of the back leg straight comes through to the front foot via the front of the pelvis, not the sacrum. Legs through the sacrum, go to your head. Legs through the leg to leg, go through your pubic disc, really through the disc. And breathing, one, big wide back, and two. You're using your arms, so you're working a little bit through the thoracic region. Can you still allow the ribs to feather and fan? It'll actually give you more strength. You see on this side, my foot's a little bit further forward. That's fine. I don't mind that. All right, one more full breath here. All the way to exhalation. And then the back knee down and step back. And again, find a comfortable seat. Yours might be different than mine. Let's do the leg extension this time. So bringing your hands out, stabilizing with an inhale, you come up pretty nice and high and step that right leg forward. All right, you're up there. Now, you can bring your blocks back a little bit if it helps you. Inhale. I'm keeping my blocks forward. It depends. You can slip the front leg forward too, and eventually you're straightening the front leg. Now, as that front leg is straight, you want to squeeze inward with the pubic disc, which will keep your left hip from flinging on out to the side. Squeeze inward and upward with the pubic disc so that your torso stays right over the inner leg, not catty corner, but just straight. Spread your toes, flex your foot. Have a little party back there in the back of your leg. Maybe wave your toes around. And if you like, inhale. And as you are exhaling, lay yourself down forward, out over the leg. Don't overdo it. Be kind. Breathing. And it's 5 breaths. Go with me. Inhale. 1. On the exhale. And inhale. And it's 2. Inhaling. 3. Don't let your left hip come out to the side. And 4. And inhaling. And 5. Good. Now push down. Inhale. Draw that leg back. And again, sit down. It's great to take time between sides because this alternating sides in yoga is for the nervous system. So you'll feel, okay, there's something going on right side. What's going on left side? Body. Maybe it's even. Maybe one's more alive. Maybe not. You're noticing again, it's dharana. Pay attention. All right, here we go, other side. Bring your hands out. Push down with your forelegs. And from the pubic disc, inhale and take your left foot forward. Exhale, yield down over it. Take that. And then push into the earth from the front foot through the pubic disc to the back leg, from the back leg through the pubic disc to the front leg, and straighten the leg, flexing the foot, lifting the pubic disc upward. Inhale, and as you're exhaling, over it. And 1. And 2. I'm counting on the exhale, really. And 3. And 4. And 5. And then inhale, wave out just a bit, step that leg back, and again, find your seat. What do you feel in your body? Attending to, well, is there a different sensation, sensing and feeling through the whole one side body and the whole other side body? Maybe. All right, now bring your strap with you and one of your blocks. We're going to come on down onto our backs. So you can come with me. Strap is here, block is here, I'm ready. And then placing your forearms on the floor and watch, of course, lift your pelvis up and roll your tail toward your knees. And then place your hips back down and you'll be right on the arc of your sacrum, hopefully. Now, if you are on the arc of your sacrum, the next thing you'll do is push with your arms footward and draw the whole lumbar spine at first, long. As you get to the bottom of your thoracic spine, you're going to continue to draw it long. You can bring your hands under your head if you like. Lumbar spine slightly off the floor and your head comes down to the ground. You want to take the base of your skull, widen it out, Widen it out, and also bring it up so that your chin is ever so slightly towards your chest. Not up, but ever so slightly towards your chest. If you need a blanket under your head, that's fine. And then release your arms down and take them onto your belly. Soften. Now your lung breath, this the 3-part lung breath, the full breathing, the thoracic diaphragm, all of that we've worked with here, and we've got a kind of a freedom, an increasing freedom in these structures. So now with your hands on your belly, we're going to go all the way down with the exhale and allow the belly tissues, all of this soft, mucky earth, water, fire stuff, to melt down underneath your hands and into the bed, the lake bed of your back body, from the pelvic floor to the thoracic diaphragm. The basin is contained by the sides of your belly and pelvic bones to the pelvic floor and the ribs to the diaphragm. With your exhale, feel the melt down through there. And as you're inhaling, feel it back belly, low lungs, diaphragm doing whatever it wants, breath into the top and back out again. All right, now reach over and grab your block, and you can take it on any of the 3 heights. I'm going to take this, actually, I'm going to take this one. It's easier to feel the depth of the belly. So take the pelvis out, take your hips out, your pelvis. I'm peeling it off the floor, keeping my lumbar spine long, and then bring your hips right onto the block. And you may find, hopefully, that you still have your sacrum mostly on the block. You don't want your coccyx on the block. That hurts, right? You want to have a little arc in your back so that your sacrum is rocking on the block. Now, take one shoulder blade and roll it open and under, and then the same thing on the other side. Good. And then rock them around a little bit, and then just open your arms out to the floor near you. You'll feel a sense of breadth and widening through the musculature of your top front chest, and perhaps a little bit more opening through the front portion of your top lungs. Now, if your hips are low enough, bend your elbows and bring your hands to your belly. And as you're exhaling, feel the belly tissues melting down. And as you're inhaling, feel them broadening from the back of their lake bed. The fluids are rising like a lake in spring, and then, but it widening, not coming up, and then exhale down again. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. And then reach down, grab your block, slide it out from under you, and curl your spine. Lengthen the spine. Lay your body out. Lay your body out. Momentary shavasana here. The arms open, one leg extends, the other leg extends. Big breath. And allow the melting of your body with a single exhale, whole body. Do it again. And one more.